Thunder Dave Steinman claims to have invented Mio Energy and to therefore be the natural choice for spokesperson of the brand.
Mio Energy is the greatest source of energy ever discovered.
Just hit the tag for me. Personal, portable, Mio Energy.
I just went on a vision quest.
We have one of the top contenders, the top prospects at 170 pounds, Rory MacDonald, joining us via the magic of Skype right now. Rory, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks.
What's going on there? A room full of men in the background. It's very intimidating.
I'm like the back rooms of TriStar. I just finished at the gym, so you wanted me on 2, so I had to kind of just get on the nearest computer.
Oh wow! So you're blaming this on me now?
Hey, yeah, you're pressuring me. So.
I blame this on your manager, Lex McMahon. But no, we appreciate you doing this very much, and it is very good to see you. You know, there's a lot going on at 170 pounds. Guys getting injured. You know, Thiago Alves, and we just saw a great fight between Martin Kampmann and Jake Ellenberger, and everyone. I've been asked this question for the last few days since the fight on Friday. Where does that leave Rory MacDonald? So I thought, hey, great idea. Let's get Rory on the show and find out what's next for him. Where does that leave you right now in the welterweight division?
I think it's somewhere in the top 10. I think I'm up there with any of those guys. But right now I feel like there's a guy that I want to fight before he's he leaves the sport, and that's BJ Penn. It's a guy I really want to fight. I respect him a lot. Great fighter, he's a legend, and I think it would be a really good matchup for me to have that fight in Toronto.
Wow, look at you taking matters into your own hands here, huh? Did you hear me?
Yeah, if you want, you gotta ask for it.
So you want to fight BJ Penn? BJ Penn has said that he's retired. Do you know something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you're kind of cutting out. You want to go to the phone, Rick? I think you're kind of cutting out there with the connection. Maybe we'll call you on your phone. Is that okay?
That works for me.
Okay, we're going to call you right now. All right, we'll get Rory back. Rory's saying if you missed it right there, he wants to fight BJ Penn in Toronto. What an interesting fight. I was just saying, looking at the rankings, who is next for Rory MacDonald, and I like how the calm, cool, and collected Rory MacDonald is now calling out the legend. In a respectful way, we must say. He's not really saying anything too negative about Mr. Baby J Penn, but I like that fight. You give me the thumbs up over there when we got Mr. MacDonald back on the phone. Rory MacDonald versus BJ Penn in Toronto. I mean, that could maybe even headline the card. All right, here we go. We got Rory back on the show. So just to be clear here, Rory, because you were cutting out, you say you want to fight BJ Penn in Toronto. That's correct, right?
Yeah, if I could, if he wants to fight, I think it'd be a great fight. I'm a young guy, and he's kind of on his last couple of fights in the UFC, maybe. So I think it'd be a great opportunity, and I'd love to have that opportunity to fight a guy that I've looked up to for a long time and watched since I was a young kid. So we'll see if he accepts.
So, like I said before we cut out, BJ continues to say that he's retired, but he's saying now that he's warming up to the idea of returning to the UFC. Yeah. Do you know something that we don't? Is he closer to coming back than we all think?
I think I know just as much as you. I really don't know. I'm just I'm throwing the idea out there, and if he'd like to do it, I'm more than ready to accept.
Have you told the UFC about this?
I've been in a little bit of discussion with it, not too much. This is kind of the biggest step I've took towards asking for it.
And how did you come to this conclusion? Like, did you sort of look at the rankings, sort of see who's out there, see who would advance your career, and say, why not BJ Penn? Why not a legend? Why can't I fight? Is that how you sort of came to this idea that this would make sense for both of you?
It was more the idea that he may be retiring. So how many opportunities am I going to get to fight a guy like BJ before he's gone? So that's one thing. And I think it'd be a great fight. I mean, I know I'm going to fight all these guys in the top 10. Eventually, I'm a young guy, and these guys are going to be around for a long time. And I know I'm going to get my shot against all these guys. And maybe I'll be missing my opportunity if I wait too long.
So,
BJ.
when you look at BJ Penn right now, especially at 170 pounds, I always thought that he's better at 155 than 170. You're a big guy, and you continue to improve. You're sort of on the upswing of your career here. Do you sort of view this, with all due respect to BJ, as an easy fight?
Oh no, definitely not an easy fight. I mean, I definitely think I'll win. I mean, I'm very confident in myself. But BJ is a very dangerous fighter. If you take him lightly, you're in for a very bad night. I'll be at my very best if that fight happens.
So at this point, you look at BJ Penn. You think he's as good a fighter as the guy who fought George St. Pierre twice, or do you think he's a lesser fighter now that he's sort of on the tail end of his career?
The way I'll look at it is he'll be a better version. There's no other way of looking at it. If I'm gonna train for a guy that's worse, I could be making a very big mistake. I'm going to be training for the best version of BJ Penn that there has been. So that's my outlook. So I look at
the chatter on Twitter now as this show's live. People excited. People like this fight. What do you do from here? How do you sort of get him to take the bait?
I ask. I ask respectfully, and hopefully UFC will take notice, and BJ will notice, and everyone we can get it together.
He's very active on social media. Are you going to try that way as well?
I mean,
respectfully, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect him or anything. this is the fight business,
Yeah.
And that's it, No emotions or bad feelings behind it. Besides, let's get it done. That's it.
I like this, Rory MacDonald. I like the fact that you're now calling people out. This is a very exciting sign for me.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, final thing, Rory. If you don't get BJ, is there anyone else out there that you'd like to call out since we were calling people out here today?
Well, I mean, the obvious question, I've said it since my fight 2 years ago with him. I want to fight Carlos eventually, but,
right.
That's, George's going to fight him. I don't know when. Do you know when?
It sounds like it's going to be November in Montreal, unless you know something that we don't.
No, I'm never.
Now you're just playing.
I
with
never
me.
know anything. I just train and that's it. But
yeah.
Eventually I want that fight against Carlos at some point in the future. So we'll see what happens. I'll cross that road when I get that road when I get there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for coming on this show. Thank you for breaking some news for us, Rory, and good luck getting the fight. We hope you guys that could be a main event fight in Toronto, right?
I would hope so. That would be amazing. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, if you do get it, maybe I'll talk to Lex about this. Maybe getting like 1% of the cut, just so that we helped you out here. What do you think of that?
I'm not sharing nothing with you.
All right. Thank you very much, Rory. We appreciate it, and good luck getting that fight.
Thanks, Ariel. Thanks for having me.
All right, there he is, Rory MacDonald, one of the best in the business. A guy who threw out the idea of fighting BJ Penn on this show, and you know what? I like it. If BJ's out there and wants big fights, like you said, that's a big fight. Now, is it a good fight for BJ? I'm not sure. I always thought that BJ is at his best at 155. I think especially now with Frankie Edgar, not the champion at 155, I think BJ would be best suited at 155. I'd love to see BJ against Benson Henderson. But you got to give respect to Rory MacDonald coming on this show, saying he wants a legend. Who doesn't want to fight a legend? In his home country, that's a fight that I think people can get behind. I mean, it sort of plays into BJ Penn's career, as he's always been sort of the undersized underdog, especially as he moves up. He's moved up to several weight classes. Interesting fight. Let me know what you think about it. Hit me up. Twitter.com/Ariel Helwani.